Hey everybody, today I'm going to do a demonstration of the KUR Instant Smudge Fix. It is something that a lot of people have asked about, so I wanted to do a demonstration. This is going to be the first video that I post. I've started a YouTube channel to put all the videos from my Facebook channel because they're deleting all the videos. So this way you guys can come back and look these up anytime you want to and watch. So KUR Instant Smudge Fix. We have talked about this, but it's interesting because I constantly have people going, what is that? Or, you know, it gets mentioned. But KUR Instant Smudge Fix is super fantastic for reanimating dry nails. So this is an Incoco set that I was given because I asked for it. The person said it was dry, and I have been looking for a really good dry set to do a demonstration with this. So I'm going to peel this. I want you guys to see how dry this set is, because a lot of times, okay, see on this one, like this is, wow, okay. You have to be real careful when you're pulling, especially these, if a set is dry and the things are sticking to it, you have to be real, okay, so that's how dry this set is, just FYI. Well, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to, okay. This was just to show you how dry that set is. Okay, so you see that it's very, very dry. It's something, it wouldn't go on your nail, like it's too dry. If I try to stick it, it's not sticking. So what I'm gonna do is attempt to put these on. So I wonder too if I can even get this plastic off. I'm going to be very, very gentle, because a lot of times we have sets, older sets especially, that get dry that we really want to wear, but they end up getting dry. And it's super awesome to have a option in your pocket to be able to make those work when you thought you might lose them. So y'all can see, super slow on this. Okay. At least I got the top off, but I don't know if you can see this, but it cracked right there. Let's see. Do you see that crack? So, all right. I've used KUR before, so I'm just gonna give it a go with this one. I've never used it on a set that stuck like that. Like, I had a set that was dry before, but it didn't stick like that. So what I'm going to do is take this, and I'm going to so I have already pushed my cuticles back. I put down a base coat, but I'm going to put a little bit of this KUR down. You don't want to glop it on, but you want it to go down on the nail. And you want to give it just a second to dry just a little bit, because you don't want it to be completely wet. This thing is falling apart. Okay, so I am going to pull that up. Let's see, what side do I want to use? I really don't want to use that end. Let's see if I can get this off without, Okay, so what I'm going to use, because it started to tear there, I don't know, let's see if you can see that. It started to tear because it's so dry, instead of trying to pull that little end off, I'm going to use, okay, I'm a little shaky there. Use that to cut the end off. Now the hope is that your stuff is not this dry when you're getting ready to do it, but it might be. Okay, so that's had a minute to get tacky. Just gonna line that up right there. And I don't know if, can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear how dry it is. And I'm just gonna let it kind of, and if you have one, you might want to be careful, because like if I push too hard right there, that's a crack. It's gonna break, and you don't want that. And also, when you go to press down in there, I do this with even my good strips. I press that down in there and it makes a cut. And if you see like this strip, it's cracking down the middle. This thing is very, very dry. I'm going to take this and cut this off. It'll make it easier for me to work with. Okay, so you see what we were working with here. This thing, it's, you know what though? It's stuck to my nail. It's still a little dry, but it's stuck to my nail. So I'm gonna pull off this extra piece here. Just like that. That is a rough edge there. So strips that are not so dry, the edges look much better. Okay. Well, I got a little. Okay. So look, y'all, I mean, there's a crack there, crack. So these are very, very dry, and look, you can see that it's stuck down on the nail, but like there on the end, it's not stuck down. It's super dry, but it's stuck. Okay, so now the next part. Once you get it stuck down, you want to put a layer of the KUR over the top of the nail. And so also, y'all, this is black and white, which is why you can see all those little cracks and things. If you had a glitter that was dry, or a pattern or something that, you know, and look at that. I don't know if you can see, but like you can already see that it's kind of, it's conformed to the nail. So if you look right there, you see it's up a little bit, but if you take one of these puppies, push that down there, it's sticking. And I'm not, because I don't want to get smudges all over everything. I'm trying to be gentle, but you see, I don't know if you can see that. See the edge of the nail there. So y'all saw earlier that nail was cracking, and look at that. I just put it over the edge of my nail, and I'll file that off. So it is literally over the edge of my nail there. Now I'm going to do one more. Let's see. Make sure. I want you guys to be able to see good. So the KUR just kind of conformed it right to my nail. Throwing one more over the top. And so you can see it does have that little crack there where I was trying to remove it. Oh, and I just messed it up. See, the KUR almost turns it into fingernail polish again. But look at that. I mean, it's a little, it's a little messy right there. But I just almost kind of covered that up. It makes it almost like, and it's on just like a regular nail. And I always, whenever I do my nails, I fold the little edge over and let it cure just a little bit, let it sit for a bit until it's good and dry. So there's the first one, and it's not too shabby. Is it perfect? No. But once this dries, I would put a good top coat over that, and unless you're looking real close, you're probably not going to notice. If you don't know, you probably wouldn't notice. All right, I'm going to try another one just to show you all, because maybe the next one will work better. And so also sometimes some strips, when you put them on, they stick, but they ruffle along the edges a little bit. Like you get this ruffling right there. Sorry. You get a ruffling right there. If you get that with a strip, a nail strip, put this on, and that ruffle will just kind of melt away. All right, we're going to try another one. See if I can. Whoop. This set is super dry. And I'm so glad, because I have been hoping for a really good dry set that I could do a video with for you guys. And boy, howdy, this one is good and dry. Let's see. You have to be very, very careful when you're pulling the plastic off, because if I just tore this right off, number one, it would crack the strip. Number two, you would probably leave half of the plastic on there, and that would be a mess. So let's see. A little bit of the plastic is still sticking. Oh yeah, there's a whole piece right there. I think, because there's a hole in the plastic. It's hard to tell. Let's see. But you know what? I encourage you to play with these strips that are like this. When you have some strips that you're like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to wear that, play with it. Those are perfect to work at gaining some new skills. Okay, I don't know if I'm going to get that off, so I'm going to try just using that part of it. And I don't even know if let's see. I think there is a lot of value in when you know something is going to be challenging and difficult. Like, I'm sure I won't leave these on. Look at that perfect little circle right there. Okay, yay. So I know I won't leave these on, but I sure am going to you know, give them a try and see, see if I can learn a little something by trying to put them on. All right, so, and I'm wondering too if this is, there we go. I'll get it a little bit closer, hoping that y'all can see better. Okay. So I'm going to put a little bit of the KUR down. You don't want to put too much on, just enough. And you want to let it get just a hair bit tacky so that the dry part of the nail will stick to it. You don't want it to be too wet, but it needs to be a little tacky. Every time I say that, y'all, I think about Tacky the Penguin. My kids used to love the Tacky the Penguin books. It's late, and that's where my brain is. Okay, so we're going to stick this down. And just kind of let it sit there for a second. Again, this is a lot of trouble to go to if you don't, you know, some people don't care. But if you do, if you care, if you have a set that you're like, I wanted to wear that and it dried out, or I have had this partial sitting in my partial book and it dried out and I really wanted to wear it and I'm kind of disappointed, well, this could be a solution for you. And I am all about solutions, y'all. All right, and I'm just gonna cut this off a little bit up here so that I can get this out of the way. Okay, so I'm gonna press that down and press that down. So it's got the KUR, and that one went on way better than the first one, I think. Although I've got a crack over here. If y'all can see that, there's a crack on that side. We'll see if we can fix that right up. Press it down. Again, your solid sets are always going to be a little bit less forgiving as far as, like, you'll be able to see any little bubbles. Okay, so do you see that little bubble right there? Sometimes even strips that go on well get those little bubbles around the edges. I'm so glad it did that. Now I can show y'all what I'm talking about. Okay, so I think that's stuck on pretty good. I'm gonna, where's my little cuticle pusher? I'm gonna press it down just a little bit. Oh, and look, that caused it to crack. That's how dry this is, y'all. But this is an experiment just to see what's possible. Okay, there's a bubble there. All right, so it's stuck down. Oops, sorry. Keep forgetting. All right, so I'm going to put this over the top after I lay down a coat underneath. I'm just going to give it a few minutes to kind of sit there and work its magic. But you can see how having something like this, like, I don't use this all the time, but it sure is good to have when you need it. And it's good to play with it before you need it. You don't want to wait until it's like, oh, I have this problem with this set, and you mess the whole thing up. Play with it with a set leave. If you have a set that you're like, I'm never gonna wear that set, take it out, leave it sitting out for a month or so, let it dry, let it get real good and dry, and then play with it and try it, because even if it cracks, it won't matter. You're going to take it off anyway, but at least it gives you an opportunity to get some experience with it before you actually need it. Okay, that's still wet. But let's see. So I want to show y'all something. You see the end of it there. You saw how dry it was. It's bending right over my nail, just like a regular strip. So that's the value of the KUR and what it can do for you if you need it to. Okay, and there's a piece of plastic still on that right there. I wonder if I can get that off too. Let's see. I don't know if I can get that off. Oh, I can. Oh, there it is. But it may take the whole nail with it. See? Okay, yeah. See that piece of plastic that was left from the top, the part that was over the top? But it came off. Anyway, that's not gonna, but do you see how squishy? Like, it's squishy and it's stuck to my nail. That one's not gonna work. All right, so let's try again. And I'm sorry if y'all, this is gonna be a longer video, because I want you to kind of, to see how it works and be aware of what you can and can't do with it. All right, so we're gonna peel this off. I'm gonna try, so you saw that piece of plastic that was still on there. Whenever I put it on, it messed up like when I put the KUR over that, like the plastic wasn't letting it move like a regular strip. Like that side did, but there was plastic on there. So that's why you want to make sure that if you have an old set that's sticking, you want to be very careful to make sure that none of this plastic top piece is left on the nail. And there's a crack, but that's okay. The plastic's coming off. Oh, alrighty. And the plastic's coming off. Okay, so I'm not going to mess with that part. Let's see if I can do something with this side of it. So I think that's going to be too short for that nail. It is. Okay, we'll try a different one. I do this stuff so that we can all learn. Hopefully, it might benefit somebody. And it benefits me for sure, because then I have these skills and I know what I can and can't do and what I can and can't save. And there's a piece of plastic left on that one. Okay. So I don't know if that's gonna come off. Yeah, I got it. There's some over here, I think. Yeah. Oh, yay, that came off too. We may get one, y'all. I feel like I'm whispering like this is like diffusing a bomb or something. I find that hysterical. I didn't realize I was doing that till just then. Okay, so that one worked out way better for that part of it. I don't know. We'll see how the rest of it goes. Okay, so I'm gonna clip this instead of trying to pull it off just because it's so dang dry. And again, you may never, ever need any of this, but at least you know in case you do. Okay, I'm gonna, I think that it doesn't really matter. I'm gonna take them all off anyway, but okay. So, what is that on that side? That's a dry piece of it that's stuck to the other side. Okay. Let's see, I think I'm gonna do the middle nail with that one. Put down some of the KUR. And then I'm going to give it just a minute. Help it along a little bit. And press it down. And it's on there. Trying to see if you can see underneath that it's sticking, and I'm going to clip it that way so that I don't tear it. Okay. So you can see it's kind of coming up on the sides a little bit. Just press it down. Okay, I'm going to get my little cuticle thing here. And see, I put a crack right there by pressing. I was being a little aggressive with that. Especially dry strips, you got to be careful with them. But you do want it to adhere to the okay. Need something just a little sharper. And then I'm just gonna take that off. They're so dry, and I really don't want to rip them. Trying to see if I can get one. If I can get one, I'll be happy. One good one, just to. And I feel like there's a value in watching somebody mess it up too, because you learn from that. You don't have to be the one messing it up. You can learn from somebody else messing it up. All right. What a mess. That's good enough. Okay. Actually, it's not quite good enough. I'm unhappy with that little spot right there. But we'll see what we can do after we get the good top of it. Okay. And so if you remember from the last one that we did, you don't want to jump in there too quick and start pressing on it, because literally it's like pressing your finger into wet fingernail polish once that KUR starts working. Because like that was like wet fingernail polish, although it's dry now. This one's dry now, like totally dry. And that one, I think that's the best one so far. And if you see, like, you can't really, if you didn't know, you wouldn't just glance at that and go, oh yeah, there's a crack there, but you know, oops. You're not gonna be, there's a crack right there too. But pretty good for a set that was completely dry. Okay, so that KUR's been working for a minute. Let's see what we got. Yeah, it is mushy like fingernail polish. So what you could do is just kind of tap on that. So there's a little place there. You could kind of tap on it a little bit. And you see I can push that edge right over. And that would not have happened before we put the KUR on it. It would have broken. So that's just to give you an idea of like kind of what's possible. And I'm gonna just press that down a little bit right there. Franken nails, y'all. All right. Got some. Okay. Like I said, it's not, I wouldn't leave these on, but the more you work with it, even though it's not good, when it'll help you to get better. When I was taking my pottery class, it took me 2 weeks. The first 2 weeks of class, I did not turn out a single solitary piece because I kept messing up and kept messing up. But to help me be less frustrated because that I was messing up, I started, like, when I knew, okay, this is not going to work, I would at least try to make it work. Like, what can I do? How can I shape this or move it or do whatever to try to see if it's salvageable? And while none of the pieces in the first 2 weeks were salvageable, they helped me get to the place where I finally got one done because I learned more about what I was working with, and that helped me be better in the long run. And that's kind of the same thing that you'll find with the nails. Don't be afraid to try different things. If you don't like it, you can always take it off, you know. This is my last one of these. So. I'm trying to get this thing off without having a bazillion cracks in it, but it's just, it is literally that dry. Okay. Oh, and it took the end. Okay, that's all right. That one came off better. So let's see. Wow, I mean, that is so dry, y'all. But I'm still gonna try it. use the clippers to straighten that up. Okay. Put some KUR on there. And this stuff, I think when I bought mine, it was about $20 for a bottle, but that's the first bottle that I've opened, and I've had it for 6 months at least. So it's not something that you're going to use all the time, but it's definitely something that is really fabulous to kind of invest in. Whoa! I dropped it, and it's too dry. It's not sticking to anything. So y'all see how that is? It's broken, and I'm going to use this end because the other end has a chip out of it, if you can see that. So we're going to go for this end and see what we can do with it. All right. I'm going to go a little slower on this one. And I think I'm also going to, I'm going to cut this right about here, because I know that will give me plenty of room, but also get that extra out of the way. Let's see. Couldn't get all the way through that, so let me try this. I'm really trying not to crack this, but see, it's cracking just a little. And again, like I said, if you have glitters, because this is white, any kind of solid, you're going to see every little imperfection. If it was glitter, glitters are so fantastic because they hide so much. They're really wonderful. And also a lot of times patterns, depending on the colors that are used and the type of background that's used, can hide more imperfections and be easier for that. Okay, so all right, so I don't know, let's see if you can see that. It's not stuck on the sides. I'm going to press that in because I did put KUR there. So it just needs another minute to try to. So I'm going to have to kind of take that edge. Do you see how when you press down in there with that, it will create this nice, hopefully, nice separation that will allow you to take that off without having a bunch on your the sides of your fingers or on your cuticle. So I did get that. And if the plastic thing doesn't work, you can always use that to press down in there, and it will create that separation there so that you can then just go back and pull it off. That's the hope anyway, right? We hope for the best. Y'all see how dry that thing is? Wow. Okay. All right. So there we are. And if this hadn't been a dry, like, see how the little thing is not, like, it's a little bit to that side instead of right in the middle. I didn't want to crack it by trying to line it up in the middle and press it on both sides. All right, so we're gonna do our top coat on the top of this. And so when I put the top coat on, I put it on all the way out, because what I'm gonna do is take, once it gets pliable enough, I'm gonna take that end and bend it over my nail like I did on that one right there. And then I'll just file that off once everything's dry. And so put that on. And we're gonna give that a minute. This one turned out the best so far, I think. Definitely. Although I don't know, that pinky is not horrible. And so that pinky's dry, so I'm going to show you. Once they're dry, take this and file them off. And I know some people like glass files. Everybody has their things that they like, different things. Work whatever uses, or work whatever works best for you. I have a bazillion of these Color Street ones, so I use these. Like single serve. I'll use it and toss it when I'm done with it. Ah, sorry y'all. I am trying to get this this end filed off here. Okay, so that filed right off. Yeah. You could put a top coat on that and go. All right, so this one, oh yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's kind of the benefit of using the KUR, is that that thing was dry and brittle, and now it's tucked under my nail, just like a regular strip. And I am also going to just see if I can touch that little crack there a little bit. That one turned out way better. Don't know if I'm helping or hurting. Okay, but definitely wearable. And once it dries, I will file that end off. It's semi-dry right now. But if you tuck your ends under and you're going to file them off, you want to make sure that this is good and dry, because if it is wet at all, it will tear instead of file off. But that dries pretty quick, so you know, they got better every time, I think. And that just gives you an idea of what you can do with the KUR Instant Smudge Fix. It is wonderful. Yeah. So if every one of them would have turned out as good as that one, I might have worn it. Let's see. See how that just comes right off there? And it was sticking to my finger. So there you go. You see how nicely that came off. And then I would put I have a protective top coat that I put on top. I would put that on top, and then I would put it around the end to kind of seal that. But yeah, KUR Instant Smudge Fix. Y'all saw how dry that was. These were this dry, and they were not sticky. Look, like you can't even hear it sticky, like it's not sticky at all. That's how dry they were. That's how dry that set was. And that's what we were able to do. And that is on there. It is on there good. I'm rubbing over it. It's not smudging, it's not moving, it's stuck. It's stuck on the sides. I did take a little piece off there, but because of the color and where that is, you would not see it or notice it. So there you go. KUR Instant Smudge Fix. Give it a try if you need it. Again, remember, even if your strips are not dry, if you get the ruffling on the edge, try this over the top of the ruffling sometimes, because it literally will just almost melt straight out. Maybe I'll try to do a video showing you that with something that's not quite so dry sometime. But thank y'all so much. I hope you have a great evening, and I will talk to you soon.